Internet! I've come to bargain! It's Harmless Phosphorescence! Hello everyone, this is American Thoreau Smiley. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh CC, and if this is Wong, I don't want to be right.
Maybe I am Brian Lesh. Who am I to judge?
This Alaric Weber is only one of an infinite number, and I'm Alaric Weber.
And that was so confusing. This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, then we tell you all about it. This show's brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. Hey, fellas. You can be a patron too. Head over to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus content there. We got Star Wars stuff, music stuff, movies that aren't about superheroes, all sorts of things happening over there. Check it out. That is patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. This week, though, on the big show, Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, you think you know how the world works? What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to. Through the mystic arts, we harness energy and shape reality. We travel great distances in an instant.
How do I get from here to there?
How did you become a doctor?
Study and practice, years of it.
There's a strength to him.
But is he ready?
Be careful which path you travel down, Strange. Stronger men than you have lost their way. I am death. In pain. You'll die protecting this world.
I can't do this.
There is no other way.
I've spent so many years peering through time, looking for you.
What's this, my mantra?
It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not savages.
Doctor Strange. That's Doctor Strange to you. I didn't spend 8 years at Strange Medical School to be called Mister.
I was wondering who.
Doctor Strange released November 4th, 2016. I remember November 2016.
Yeah.
With a running time of
I
100.
think this was the day after the election.
Was it?
Was it?
Maybe.
Oh, no.
Oh, we
I
forgot
think
to
it was a
mention
couple
at
days
the,
before.
we
I
forgot
don't
to
know, I
mention
can't
at the top that it's Super Bowl Sunday today.
Yeah, it is.
Go sport.
Yeah.
Go beloved team. Boo disliked team.
Yeah. I personally am rooting for. Then we could just edit it. We could play this every year and edit it and what the right one
What a
is.
fantastic win for
Sports team.
Yeah, sports team.
And for those of you not following along, you know who won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna have a humongous audience today of all days.
Yeah.
We'll just say we're doing a puppy bowl.
In my head, I'm doing a puppy bowl every day. Doctor Strange released November 4th, 2016 with a running time of 115 minutes. It cost $236 million. It made $677 million. So it was a hit, but it wasn't like the Avengers level kind of hit they were maybe hoping for. That's definitely respectable for like kind of a not top line superhero origin story. But I think, guys, that coming into talking about the box office, we should play the box office top 10 game. Yeah. This is the game where I will read the description of the top 10 movies of the week. Guys are going to try to guess it based on that description. We had a few repeats from last week, so I'm going to jump around here a little bit. Let's see. Opening at number 29 this week, the story of Richard and Mildred, a couple whose arrest for interracial marriage in 1960s Virginia began a legal battle that would end with the Supreme Court's historic 1967 decision.
It's about the loves.
Virginia. Loving.
They're not Loving. Yeah, Loving.
Yeah.
Loving.
Yeah.
It's called Loving.
Oh, it's just Loving?
I
guess I saw
Loving.
a documentary and not a fictionalization of this.
Well, that's their last name. That was their last name.
Yeah.
Is that the kid from Not Any Given Sunday? Do you remember the Titans?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I never saw
And the
the
chick
film.
from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? I think that, the lady in the dress, girl in the flower dress, was the wife. I do remember that movie existing.
Same.
That opened this week. Let's see. Coming in at number 12 this week, we've got a suburban couple becomes embroiled in an international espionage plot when they discover that their seemingly perfect new neighbors are government spies. This stars Zach Galifianakis, John Hamm, and Gal Gadot.
What?
Huh. Oh, dang. No, not going to get it.
The Spy Next Door.
I mean, that's a good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keeping Up with the Joneses is what it's called. Yeah, I remember it vaguely. Number 11 this week.
Ed Begley Jr.
Ed Begley Jr. God damn it. For no reason. Okay.
For no reason at all.
And number 11 this week. A young African-American man grapples with his identity and sexuality while experiencing the everyday struggles of childhood, adolescence, and burgeoning adulthood.
Oh, Moon something. Oh, God. What is this?
Beast.
Very close. Very close, Brian. Moon.
Over my hammy.
No, you're wrong. It's actually La La Land. No, Moonlight.
Moonlight. Thank you. Damn.
The movie that they didn't announce as the winner of Best Picture that year, but they announced La La Land and then had to say, nope, sorry, it's Moonlight.
Yeah.
The Warren Beatty and what's her face? Bonnie.
Faye
Bonnie and
Dunaway?
Clyde, Faye Dunaway. Yeah. Faye Dunaway announced La La Land was the winner of Best Picture Oscar, and they had to retract that and say, no, it was actually Moonlight.
Oh,
Did they give them the wrong envelope? Yeah.
So they gave her the envelope for a different category.
Yeah. Oh, Price Waterhouse. I was trying to think of the accounting company who handles the...
Yeah. They gave her the envelope. And what's funny is you can see her looking at it and it doesn't say Best Picture, and she shows it to Warren Beatty and he's just like, yeah. Just read it.
He's all, I'm so vain. Just do it.
I probably think this song is about me.
Likelihood very high.
Threat level midnight.
It's a bet I'll take.
Number 10, we have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Number 9, The Girl on the Train. We had both of those last week. Number 8. Can't remember if we had this one last week or not. In 1967 Los Angeles, a widowed mother and her daughters add a new stunt to bolster their seance scam business by inviting an evil presence into their home, not realizing how dangerous it is. If you invite an evil presence into your home, is that a stunt or are you actually doing a seance?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways,
Were they daredevil witches?
Daredevil, possibly. They were evil Knievils.
The Conjuring?
No, but it's in that vein.
The
Evil
Nun?
Knievel's.
Evil How did I get by me?
This is technically based on a board game.
Oh, Ouija?
Ouija, Origin of Evil.
The Parker Brothers.
Yeah, it's a
It's a universe.
After Clue, it's the second Parker Brothers. No, after Clue, Battleship, there's Ouija.
Jumanji's in there too, right? Isn't that a board game?
Jumanji wasn't a real game. It was a fake board game.
Like, do you want to
that's fair.
contact the spirits or German U-boats?
You sunk my evil spirit. At number 7, our hero must uncover the truth behind a major government conspiracy in order to clear his name while on the run as a fugitive from the law.
Enemy of the State?
No,
that's
that was
way
like
old.
98. Yeah.
Yeah.
98, 97,
Shit,
something like
98.
This stars Tomathan Cruz.
Reacher? Reach around.
Yeah. Jack Reacher, never go back.
Further reach.
Reacher. I barely
Jack
met him.
Reacher, reach around.
That's what I think of, and I always have. Reacher.
Number 6 was The Accountant, which we talked about last week. At number 5, when Robert Langdon wakes up in an Italian hospital with amnesia, he teams up with Dr. Sienna Brooks, and they race across Europe together against the clock to foil a deadly global plot.
It's whatever the Da Vinci Code sequel was, right?
Oh my God, yeah, it is, isn't it? I did not know.
Angels.
I remember the character's name.
It's
Yeah,
called
what is it? Angels and
The Inferno.
Oh, it's the third in eight of. Yeah.
Weird
Tom
haircut, Tom Hanks.
Action.
I had no idea this movie existed. I didn't know they made a third one.
Me neither. Damn dog.
I never read the Da Vinci Code. I never saw any of the movies.
Solid.
Oh, you missed out on a bunch of weird fun. It's not good, but it's fun.
This one, I can't remember if we talked about this one or not, but a lady lands in the midst of mayhem when she spends a haunted Halloween fending off killers, paranormal poltergeists, ghosts, ghouls, and zombies while keeping a watchful eye on her wild teenage great niece.
Is this a Medea movie?
It is. It's called Boo! A Medea Halloween.
Awesome.
The words "a lady" tipped me off.
A lady. Yeah.
She's
I
got
could say
style.
that.
She's got grace.
She's a lady. I've never seen a one, but going
Me
through the
neither.
box office top 10 over the years and talking about all these Medea movies, I am so intrigued because they look terrible and
I have
also
mad
like,
respect. for
amazing.
talent.
Opening at number 3 this week. American Army medic Desmond Doss refuses to kill people and becomes the first man in American history to receive the Medal of Honor without firing a shot.
Okay, he's a medical officer and he refuses to shoot people. That tracks.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hacksaw Ridge. Oh, fuck it. That was a Clint Eastwood movie, right?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an
Okay.
interesting piece of military propaganda, considering that he does not go around just killing people.
That's Garfield, right? Andrew Garfield.
As a
I think
medic.
so. Yeah.
At number 2 this week, opening at number 2. I'm trying to figure out how to describe this without just giving it away.
Silence speaks volumes.
After an invasion, Poppy, the happiest resident of a village, and the curmudgeonly Branch set off on a journey to rescue their friends. I left out some key information.
Is this that Hop movie?
It's not Hop. It is. Oh, it stars Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake. Wow.
Sing?
No. But it's let's see. It's based on a toy line, much like last week's Max Steel.
Oh, Bratz?
No, not Bratz.
Like, no.
It's
Rodent.
Trolls.
Oh, Trolls. Oof.
There's like several of those now, aren't there? I think this was a hit.
How have we gotten multiple troll movies and I still haven't gotten my live action Smurfs movie? I've been
There
waiting
was
my
a
whole
live
life
action
for it.
Smurfs movie.
There were
Yeah.
2.
When?
Yeah. Like in the last 10 years, what's his face was
Were the
Neil Patrick
the
Harris?
Smurfs live action people painted blue?
Oh, no. no, they were CG.
And I'm not watching. They need to be real people with blue paint.
3 apples high.
No
Never
shit.
forget how tall that is.
I always
How
remember it was
creepy.
from around like around 2000s ish. There was a Saturday Night Live sketch that was just called Quentin Tarantino's Smurf. And it had like Will Ferrell like painted blue, and he's like, "I'll Smurf you, you Smurfing Smurf."
Yeah.
It's the one that says "Bad Mother Smurfer."
Awesome.
Number 1 this week. While on a journey of physical and spiritual healing, a brilliant neurosurgeon is drawn into the world of the mystical arts.
Boat trip.
Yeah. God's totally real.
Toads my goats.
For sure. Doctor Strange opened at number 1. That is our box office top 10 game. That will bring us to our character and comic book background. Mr. Al Weber, tell us everything we need to know about the good Doctor Strange.
I'll try. Dr. Stephen Strange was created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee. First appeared in Marvel Comics Strange Tales number 110, cover dated July of 1963.
How apropos.
Created during the Silver Age of comics to bring a different kind of character and themes of mysticism to Marvel, Doctor Strange would serve as Sorcerer Supreme, the primary protector of Earth against magical and mystical threats. The character begins as an extremely talented but egotistical surgeon who loses the ability to operate after a car crash severely damages his hands beyond repair. Searching the globe for healing, Strange encounters the Ancient One, the Sorcerer Supreme, becomes his student, and learns to be a master of the mystical and martial arts.
So,
Strange, yep.
the broken hands were always his origin. There wasn't like alternate origins where he, got like a sprained ankle
As-
or something.
As far as I know, yes.
That's really cool.
I do. I suppose it's ironic, isn't it, that you get in a car crash that breaks only the one thing you use for your profession.
His face is fine.
Face, legs, arms, everything was okay. It was just the hands.
Well, I don't know.
My
I
hammer
don't know
broke.
if you guys have ever been in car accidents where you hit something. You also really hard.
you hit
His
a
face
lot of
is
stuff. And that was a bad car crash. Like
Yeah.
every bone in his body should have been broken.
Yeah, I think there's a metaphor at play.
He should have come out of that thing looks like, not Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, he should have come out with every bone in his body broken.
Well, he could have had other injuries.
Okay.
We just didn't. Those weren't
Crumple
important.
zones, man.
Yeah.
So let's see. Searching the globe for healing, strange encounter. Oh, I did that. Wait, no, I didn't. Yes, I did. Okay, so Doctor Strange acquires an assortment of mystical objects, most notably the Eye of Agamotto and the Cloak of Levitation. Doctor Strange would take up residence in the Sanctum Sanctorum in Greenwich Village, assumes the title of Sorcerer Supreme. I'm assuming the Ancient One must have met an untimely end at some point. And defends the world from mystical threats with his friend and valet Wong.
Valet.
Valet. Oof.
Wong and the Ancient One, they both appeared in the same first issue with Doctor Strange.
Stanley's like, it's the 60s. You can't be racist against Asian people.
Was
Yeah,
Wong
they're so
always
fair.
was Wong always the Ancient One's valet? Or was Wong always Strange's valet, or was Wong originally the Ancient One's valet?
I
What's
couldn't
Wong's
tell you.
work history?
Um,
I'm doing a background check.
And does he have a work permit?
Driving Miss Ancient One.
Nope, can't find it quickly. It would go without saying, but it won't, that Doctor Strange is a genius level intellect. Doctor Strange has had team affiliations with the Avengers, the Defenders, and the Illuminati. The character was first portrayed in live action by Peter Hooton in the 1978 TV film Doctor Strange.
And the medicine woman.
Also, and just to mention the Midnight Suns comic events that happened. They're a group also. That's what's his name? Moon Knight and Blade and Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I think Danny Rand sometimes.
All the dudes that are working on their night moves.
Yeah, Michael McDonald.
The cheese sweats.
What did you call them? The Midnight Suns?
Yeah, Midnight Suns.
Yeah, yes, Midnight
Tour.
Suns. Also, Infinity Watch, the New Avengers, and something called The Order.
Yeah, I forgot Infinity Watch too. Yeah, him and Adam Warlock are pals.
And the Rotary Club.
As mentioned before, the Ancient One and Wong both first appeared alongside Doctor Strange in Strange Tales number 110, although Wong went unnamed until Strange Tales number 119.
He was
Wow.
dude's valet, and he never said his name. That's cold shit.
Okay, let's see. We've got Carl Mordo, a.k.a. Baron Carl Amadeus Mordo, was introduced in the following issue, Strange Tales number 111. Mordo was a Transylvanian nobleman, also studying under the Ancient One. Doctor Strange foiled Mordo's plot to kill said Ancient One, leading to Mordo being cast out.
Can I just say his parents buried the lead? They named him Carl Amadeus. Wouldn't you have named your kid Amadeus Carl Mordo?
Or go by one of those names. But he's like, I'm going to go by Mordo.
Or
Amadeus
just
is a
Carl?
Yeah,
I would
Carl.
never call me Carl. My middle name's Amadeus. Are you kidding?
Carl's plot was foiled. Carl.
Mordo is notably gifted in the black arts and the conjuring of demons.
Huh.
Christine Palmer first appeared in Marvel's Night Nurse #1, November of 1972, created by Gene Thomas and Win Mortimer.
Night Nurse.
Yeah, it's that Tosh song.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say up front, it's cool that she's no longer the night nurse; she's the night doctor.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's something.
Yeah.
Christine was one of 3 central characters in the series, Night Nurse, involving medical professionals specializing in helping injured superheroes.
Which it's not Christine Palmer, but multiple people are the night nurse, right? We see Rosario Dawson do that in Daredevil. She's essentially the same character.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Day nurse.
But yeah, I guess multiple women throughout the run of Doctor Strange and Defenders and stuff have been the night nurse.
There were at least, 3 listed on what I had seen.
Fighter of the night nurse.
Caecilius first appeared in Strange Tales number 130. He was a disciple of Baron Mordo. Wasn't a ton of information about him. Who else? Nicodemus West is the Doctor. First appeared in 2006 as the surgeon who operated on Doctor Strange's hands and botched his hand job. There were a couple of others. Daniel Drum, Hamir, a couple other characters floating around that just didn't strike me in the movie, but they're also from comics.
Daniel was the New York
Yeah,
Sanctum head. I don't know what they call themselves. Bishop.
Guardian.
The guy with 2 lines and then he dies.
Yeah, he had a deleted scene.
Dormammu.
Yeah.
First seen in Strange Tales number 126, another Lee Ditko creation. Lord of the Realm of Darkness and Chaos, the Dread One, the Great Enigma, yada, yada, yada.
That's the same way we describe our cat, by the way.
Dormammu is person-sized in the comics, right?
Yeah, which would have been cool to see, but yeah.
But it also makes sense. It
worked.
And I have a
face,
feeling that
at least.
if we do see him again, we will see him as what's his face, Caecilius.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they bring any of that around in the Multiverse of Madness.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it, but it would be neat.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's all I have for this week.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Al, for that background
Botched
there.
hand job. Botched. Now you're just mashing it.
Woo! That brings us to the production of the film itself. The first big screen adaptation went into development with a script dated 1986 by Bob Gale. That didn't go anywhere, but in 89, Alex Cox and Stan Lee co-wrote a script.
Wow, what a pairing.
Yeah. This was supposed to be made by Warner Brothers. It kind of went into turnaround, never got made. But they sold the rights to Full Moon Entertainment. The rights then lapsed. So instead of not making a movie, they changed the character's name to Dr. Mordred and made a movie anyways. Dr. Mordred was a straight-to-video movie written by C. Courtney Joyner and directed by Albert Band.
It's like...
In which...
Go ahead, sorry.
Dr. Mordred is a wizard sent to Earth by a being called the Monitor to stop the evil wizard cabal from opening the gate to hell. He has to find the Philosopher's Stone and complete a spell.
Jesus.
That could be a cool Doctor Strange movie. I could see it.
Well, a cool movie. There's nothing
Yeah.
about Doctor Strange. It's like saying you're gonna make a Turtles movie, and you're like, all we can find was raccoons. Let's go
They
with
should
it.
have gone. They should have gone with Doctor Weird though. Doctor Mordred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr.
Well,
Odd.
to give
Yeah.
you an idea of the quality of Dr. Mordred, it is slated to be featured on the next season of Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, that's
So-
incredible!
Fantastic.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that's coming out this year, so that'll be fun.
Where do
so-
you get that list, Thoreau?
What's that?
Where'd you find that list?
It's that. Well,
Online,
that's actually
okay.
that. It's on. I don't know. I didn't get the whole.
On the World Wide Web.
It's
I
the
found it
internet
under-
now.
I
Moving
found it
on.
under some rocks outside my front door.
Yeah.
I found it in a bottle on a beach.
So after that, the film rights reverted back to Marvel. Wes Craven signed on with Savoy Pictures to write and direct a Doctor Strange film in the mid 90s. It's around 94, 95. He worked on that with David S. Goyer.
Yeah.
God.
They did complete the script. It kind of sat on the shelf for a while. In 97, Columbia Pictures purchased the rights. They started working on a new screenplay. Then in April 2000, they stopped working on a new screenplay.
Is that script out there
The Wes Craven script?
on the World Wide Web?
I did not look into it.
I'm
I'd be
curious.
surprised if it wasn't. I feel like most unmade
Yeah.
films exist out there. Yeah. There's a really interesting podcast called The Greatest Films Never Made that just go through all of these old scripts that were never made and talk about it. It's a couple of script writers and producers themselves that do it. So they get like a lot of guests. They actually get a lot of the writers on that wrote the scripts. So it's a really interesting show. But let's see. In 2001, Dimension got the film rights. They brought Goyer back on to write another script. That never got made. And then in 2004, Marvel and Avi Arad said that they were dropping making it. Paramount got the rights at that point. And then in 2007, Guillermo del Toro and Neil Gaiman teamed up and pitched a version of the film with Gaiman writing and del Toro directing.
What?
Hmm.
Who turned that down?
That was turned down by Avi Arad.
Imagine that being how the MCU starts.
Ugh. Yeah.
That would have been
There's a branch timeline where Doctor Strange is the first Avenger that we meet. That's
That'd be
wild.
wild.
Yeah. Basically, at this point, the rights reverted back to Marvel, and Kevin Feige had already had started the MCU. They just began working on it. From around 2010 to 2014, it got passed around. The script got passed around to a bunch of people, but it eventually got given to John Spates, C. Robert Cargill, and Scott Derrickson. John Spates is let's see, he's best known as an author, although he's had plenty of screen stuff. He has a screenwriter credit on The Darkest Hour and Prometheus.
He writes with Lindelof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that's
and
great.
he wrote with teamed up with Villeneuve. I can never say his last name.
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve, thank you. He has a screenwriting credit for Dune. C. Robert Cargill, we have actually talked about before, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He On no, I guess we haven't. I felt like we did. He wrote the Rules of Attract. Well, no, he was in the Rules of Attraction as an actor. Oh, interesting. He wrote Sinister, Sinister 2. Wow, he doesn't have a ton of credits for writing, anyways. Wow, yeah, not much else. And then Scott Derrickson has a writing credit and he's a director on this film. He directed The Exorcism of Emily Rose, Sinister, Deliver Us from Evil, not Deliver Us from Eva. Yeah. He mostly worked in horror. Hellraiser Inferno, The Black Phone, which came out last year. Yeah, a lot of evil stuff. He apparently has uncredited rewrites on Dracula 2000 and Scream 4.
A lot of evil stuff.
A lot of evil stuff, yeah. So this is probably the biggest thing he did. Our cast includes Bumbersnitch Clumberflatch.
What's that badge?
Benedict Cumberbatch.
This is the most English name there ever was, except for Lord Fauntleroy.
Was, yeah. Yeah. He comes from an acting family. His father was Timothy Carlton Cumberbatch. His mother was Wanda Bentham.
I heard that his grandfather invented that thing that goes around your waist when you rent a text. Oh.
Do you think the family got into acting because they had to say their name out loud to people?
Yeah,
there's always a performance.
Yeah. He got his start in theater. He did a lot of London theater. He's one of those, like, London fancy up like prep school acting family guys. Of course, he's probably best known prior to this for his lead in Sherlock.
Yeah, I love Sherlock.
Yeah, that was he was in The Imitation Game after this. He was in The Power of the Dog last year. He was pretty good in that. I don't love anytime he does an American accent.
I was going to say he's a good actor, but his American accent stinks.
Are shaky at best.
Yeah.
It's gotten better. This is probably his worst American accent. Like, it's real bad in this movie.
And his colleague and contemporary Martin Freeman can not only nail an American accent, but regional dialects.
Yeah, exactly.
Like on Fargo.
I think of Tom Holland, man. I had no idea.
True.
I would never guess in a million years that kid was British.
Never. Meanwhile, Benedict Cumberbatch is my tag at the beginning. Hello, I am Doctor Strange.
I mean, the dude's so British. It's like if we were named Texan McNugget or something.
I am now. That's a porn name if I've ever heard it. And in this corner, Texas McNugget.
What do you think his teeth looked like before he got famous?
Well, I'm pretty sure that they went out parallel to his head, like at a 90-degree angle. Because, he's the Britishest guy that ever Britished. Yeah. We have Chiwetel Ejiofor. That's the best I'm ever going to say that name. As Mordo. I feel bad. He's a great actor, but I always say it terribly.
Ejiofor? Chiwetel?
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Ejiofor.
All the letters.
Yeah, that's the best I could do. He was the operative in Serenity. He was Solomon in 12 Years a Slave. We talked about him in The Martian on our Patreon, patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. He was in Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Yeah, he's a good actor. Rachel McAdams as Christine Palmer. Rachel McAdams as generic McWhite Lady.
That's
she's
generic McWhite Lady McDream Girl.
Yeah,
That's Dr. Generic McWiley.
she's the acting equivalent of a pumpkin spice latte.
She's fantastic in Mean Girls. And
that's right.
And the
She
Family
was.
Stone.
She was really good at Mean Girls.
I will never forget her in The Notebook. I'm already crying.
I've never seen The Notebook.
It has something to do with an ancient notebook, right?
She was in a Sherlock Holmes movie.
That's right, the Guy Ritchie one. She was in The Time Traveler's Wife, Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows. They keep threatening to make it.
Is that her?
No, that was Scarlett Johansson.
Oh.
They keep threatening to make a third Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movie, but it's like, I don't know. Yeah. She was in About Time.
Wait, so she was in 2 time traveling movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She's in the upcoming 2022 movie. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Oh my God, they're making that into a movie.
That's incredible.
Oh wow.
That's got to go on the list.
That's awesome. Oh
yeah,
wow.
we all were our first period for sure.
Benedict Wong. We've actually talked about him before. He was in he was in something that wasn't good. What movie was it? No, he was in Kick-Ass 2. That's it. He was in Kick-Ass 2.
Oh yeah, he was a
Yeah,
goon.
he was
Like
a goon
gang
in Kick-Ass
leader.
2. And we also talked about him in The Martian on our Patreon.
He was born to play this role.
Oh yeah.
His name is Wong. His name is Benedict.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
They could cast no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mads
2
Mikkelsen-
Benedicts on a movie set. I bet that doesn't happen a lot.
Right? I bet you they made eggs one way.
Over easy.
Holidays.
Catering's like, sorry, nothing scrambled. Sorry.
You mother.
Mad Mikkelsen's as K-Silly, which is how I will refer to him henceforth.
Casily.
Is that the singular or plural of K-Silly?
That's the rapper name of K-Silius.
I was gonna say it's a rapper name for children's like music, kids pop or whatever.
Have you? He was in that Rihanna video. What was it? Bitch Better Have My Money.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
And it's one of my favorite celebrity moments ever. His kids. He got a call from Rihanna's people. Will you be in my music video? And he mentions to his kids, this woman asked me to be in her music video, and I forget exactly what his kids said to him, but his response was, "So I am the bitch."
I am the bitch now.
I am the bitch, or it was like when my kids say I have to do something, I am the bitch. He's so funny.
Mads Mikkelsen, we actually talked about him on our Patreon for Rogue One, which seems which was, oh my God, that was
Forever
like
ago.
2.5 years ago. We did that.
After seeing this movie, and that was like the most recent thing that I had seen him in, I remember thinking what a shame it was that he was completely humorless in Rogue One. Because he's funny, man. He's really funny.
Strangely, yeah, he is. He, of course, he was in Casino Royale.
He's good in that, yeah.
Yeah, it was. The Hunt. He was in Norwegian movies since like the 90s when he was like a young up and comer.
He's Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. Pusher 2. Wow.
Pusher 2.
Oh my God.
Pushed her once.
He played Chick Hicks in the Danish dub of Cars.
That's cool.
So did I.
Wow.
It is cool. Yeah.
It
It
looks
really
like
is.
he is slated to be in 2023's Indiana Jones 5.
Oh yeah.
He looks like the classic villain, so
Yeah, he looks like a
Yeah, he
Nazi.
Well, he plays Grindelwald in the stupid
Fantastic
Fantastic Beasts
that's right.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
he's like the ultimate fan cast for Doom. I remember that like a collective gasp went out when he was cast in this movie, and everybody went, "But he's not Doom? Why?"
Doctor Doom, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd make a good one.
Just
He
the
was kinda
voice and look.
he was kind of wasted in such a generic one-off villain,
In
honestly.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is super generic. Like,
The
I'm
only thing
evil, but my evilness is actually good, right, guys?
the only thing that
Terrible eye
saves his
makeup.
performance is the freaking meeting of Doctor Strange. The
Yeah.
humor in that is so dumb and so off the wall and unexpected. I was just like, "Oh, well, this is fun."
I found that to be the best moment of the film, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton is the Ancient One. We've spoken about her before. Most recently, I believe, in the Constantine.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was cool in that.
Michael Stuhlbarg as Nicodemus West. Benjamin Bratt as Jonathan Bangborn.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I thought he was great. I could
I like him. Yeah.
add him as a wizard, and I was like, "Oh, you know what? I could buy Benjamin Bratt as a wizard. That's kind of cool."
Yeah. I could see that. Scott Adkins as Lucian, one of the zealots, which I was shocked any of them even had a name.
So were they.
Yeah. That was the most generic group of like, hey, we're bad guys that I have ever seen. Yeah, that's about it for the production. Which brings us to the film itself. There we go. I'm just gonna real quickly. No problem. I'm just gonna real quickly take a marker there so that I can edit that out for our live viewers. All Andrea of them. We'll see. We'll see behind the scenes. So guys, you ready to jump into the film itself?
Yeah. Say catchphrase here,
Okay.
of which
Go.
there was.
Slingering.
All right, so here we go. This is Doctor Strange. We open in Kathmandu at the Sanctum. Mr. K-Silly is trying to steal a book. The Ancient One fights them. There's magic. There's mirror dimension chicanery. And in the end, K-Silius gets away, but not with what he wanted. Just a few pages.
But he didn't he just tear out the 2 pages before he was confronted at all? I mean, he.
Yeah.
Why didn't
think
he
so.
just take the whole book? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Why
that'd
didn't he
be
just take
smarter,
the
but
book and like why?
Well,
Why tear out the
because
pages?
it has one of those little magnetic strips inside.
I was gonna say he doesn't have a library card.
Yeah, he didn't want to set off the alarm when he walked through the front doors
Yeah,
The
that was,
Xerox
or
machine was
teleported
out
through
of
the
order.
walls.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
They should have Xeroxed it. What if they took out a phone and took pictures of it?
they could have done
Spilled this.
honestly, like tearing out the pages and not taking the rest of the book was the weirdest fucking thing. Like I do not understand.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it would have been so much better if he had pulled out a smartphone and taken a picture of the pages. That
It's
would have
like
been really
having-
funny.
It's like having to ditch a Playboy quickly back in the day. Just grab a few pages.
I'd be like, oh, it was an article.
An interview with James Caan.
Oh, there's a
And one
funny
of the-
comic on the back.
My
That I
wife
don't
doesn't
get.
like sex. It's hilarious. We get an Earth, Wind, and Fire needle drop. I think that's our first Earth, Wind, and Fire needle drop in the MCU.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
our only.
Hopefully not the last, man. What a great song.
Oh yeah.
I like that he plays music when he operates, which I think happens. But and he has all the trivia. Just
Well,
that
yeah.
sort of idea of like the shower moment, where if you're concentrating on something else, you're doing something else with better attention.
Right.
I didn't
This is a
explain it that way.
character trait of his, is that he's really into music.
Neurosurgeons oftentimes will play music while they're operating.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's the patient's choice because they are conscious throughout.
Right.
Not in this case, but that's literally like part of, at least historically.
Yeah.
But it
was
also
a cool
shows that
character thing.
he has the photographic memory. That's the first example of his photographic memory that we get.
Right.
point.
It is.
Or encyclopedic.
The music thing as a character trait disappears completely after this scene.
It does.
It's not a running theme throughout.
Maybe he associates it with that.
We get a
It comes
couple
back
of
once, at least once.
at least once, if not
Well,
the time when he's talking to Wong too.
He mentions Beyonce, but that's I don't know.
He also mentions our favorite werewolf hunter,
Who?
Bob Seger.
Oh yeah, Kathmandu as well.
He says Kathmandu, and she goes, the Bob Seger song, and he says like 1975 A-side, whatever, crazy savant level of like response.
And I want to point out how over the top we saw how much he loves and uses his hands. It was almost like the guy from Monkey Shines, like where they take so long to show him enjoying his legs.
Well, that's the thing. And I don't know.
Well,
and then
he loves his hands.
he gets
Look
it
at him.
in the accident later on. We see him, and like literally, that's the only thing. His hands, and he
Yeah.
has like a bruise on his forehead. That's it.
I while we're still in the neurosurgeon phase of Doctor Strange, Cumberbatch spent time with a neurosurgeon and learned how to do the hand washing and learned about the specific procedure they were doing in the movie, which is kind of cool. I was like, oh, I don't know
I
if
guess so.
Tony Stark did any of that background on his character. He's like, you want me to hit a tube with a hammer? I can do that.
It's like a ride along with the cop. The doctor's like, "Hey, Batch, you want to give it a shot?" Pull
It's like,
this
well-
out of the brain.
We've got insurance. You'll be fine.
Yeah, give it a shot.
So all right, he's romantically involved with Dr. Christine Palmer. There's another doctor there.
Was.
They have a Sam and Diane thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows up another doctor there who I guess was a bad doctor. And then he makes a date with Christine for later at a speaking engagement. He goes home.
I like the surgery stuff. I like that Strange is a fucking genius in the surgical world because the guy, he's brain dead. He's like, no, it's a bullet coated in this specific metal which leaches into the brainstem, which makes you think he's brain dead. He puts together this multi-part red string thing in an instant, which is kind of neat. It shows us that he's more than just good with his hands.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's clearly a genius.
Yeah.
A genius level intellect, one could say. So he goes home, he gets dressed, all fancified up. On his way to his speaking engagement, he gets in a car crash. He wakes up sometime.
He's weaving all over the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, he's
for
a
a
very
doctor.
dangerous driver. Yeah.
He's putting other people.
I just since we're gonna go from this to nothing, his penthouse is like hundreds of millions of dollars. Probably, it's incredibly expensive and big. Glass windows of New York. He has a gigantic grand piano that's probably $50,000 to $100,000. Each of those watches is like 20 grand, and he wrecks a $200,000 car. This guy is so rich.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sought after.
Andrea notes that Mom was once in a bad car accident and only broke her hands because of the airbags, and that was almost exactly what happened in the movie. The airbags crushed his
there you
hand.
go. It tracks.
Well, the front dash wraps around his hands.
Yeah.
As his body gets like punched by the airbag. It's weird.
But Thoreau's right. There's not even a bruise. There's no
Yeah.
contusions.
Did you the cases that he's running through? His whoever he's talking to on the phone. Did anybody catch the first one?
What was it?
They were talking about a guy in an experimental armor who had his spine crushed.
Rhodey.
Being Rhodey, yeah. From Civil War.
They were confirmed, but yeah, it's interesting. They're like tying it up together.
He declined to take that case because he said 50 other surgeons could do that.
I love this. The surgeon aspect of this is one of my favorite things because he is a famous, wealthy surgeon. He is shopping around for patients that will bring.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that won't die
even
on
an
it.
Avenger, even an Avenger, he's like, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's because it's about the surgery, not the person getting the surgery.
Yeah. It's really interesting. Which brings us to Pangborn later in the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he wakes up, his hands are broken. He spends some time rehabilitating, looking for a cure to his hands, telling everybody that they're bad doctors.
Got a classic case of broken hands.
He's got the old shaky hand. He wants to be a surgeon again, but Western medicine fails him. He becomes depressed.
He's all, but I operate with this hand.
He comes across a case file of a guy named John that was paraplegic.
John.
But got cured. John tells him he went to Kathmandu and was treated by the Eastern medicine. So Strange travels to Kathmandu for Kamar Taj, which is the place that John tells him he went to.
And all of this is very Batman Begins. Do you know what I mean? The vision quest and the learning.
This point between his fake beard and his fake accent, honestly, I was just like, oh, Benedict.
When he's back at rehab, talking to the guy and finds out about Pangborn, he uses bachelor degree as an insult.
Yep.
Yeah.
Belittling that poor guy that's trying to help him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and the guy says it out loud. If it proves your arrogant ass wrong, it's worth it. So I think he's the first person to call him arrogant to his face. Everybody else is thinking it.
So he gets discovered by Mordo, who takes him in to meet the Ancient One.
Who gets him a record contract right away.
Well, he discovers him while he's getting his ass kicked by some muggers.
Yeah. Some very
Western.
Diverse group of muggers. I think there's like an Hispanic guy in there. There's an English dude.
Local toughs.
They came to Kathmandu for the
mug
pickpocket game.
They're like the Spice Girls of mugging.
If you want to be my victim.
Yeah. Do you think is there like a producer? Is there like a guy who manages like their pickpocket pimp?
He's like, you're the cute one. You're the sporty one.
You're fat.
If you want to be my victim, you got to give me your cash.
So Strange spent all of his money, his last few dollars on the one-way ticket there. He's homeless, whatever, but he still has the watch that Christine gave him that he wrecked in the car crash.
Yeah.
What about how is he broke? Sell your watches and you've got like a few $100,000 there at least.
Surgery without insurance. That's basically what they were saying, was like, your insurance won't cover this. It's an elective thing. That'll be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Fair. Yeah. Okay.
He canceled his handball subscription. He's saving money by not having to.
He stopped buying coffee.
Yeah, he's like, my yo-yo budget went way down.
He tightened his belt. So all right. So he meets the Ancient One. She tells him she is magic. She's like, "Do you believe in magic?" In a young girl's heart.
I'm all around you, Stephen.
I love the mockingly showing him the book, knowing what his reaction will be. Like, have you seen this photo before, Stephen? Have you seen this photo before, Stephen? And he thinks that she's serious because he's such a dick. Like, he can't tell that she's putting one on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, he's initially skeptical. She shows his, and then she's like, "I'm about to blow your mind, bro," and basically like drops ayahuasca on him.
Yeah, and it's the first time we see the push, the astral push.
Yeah.
That Hulk and Spidey get as well later.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So she shows him the mirror dimension, a bunch of other magic stuff. Strange decides he's going to stay on and become a pupil of this albino upper class English woman.
And they toss him out.
This visual trip
Yes.
was worth the cost of admission, man.
No,
this is one of the most incredible things the MCU has ever done.
All of the visual effects look amazing. They really do.
Yeah, they do.
The fact that they fit that 3 minutes or minute and a half or whatever it was into this movie is crazy, because they could have interspersed it throughout, but just to like send us down this montage of whatever the fuck that was, it's great.
No, it looks great. We get Dormammu is in there at this point.
Yeah.
We get a
Vision.
glimpse of Dormammu. It's amazing. It looks amazing. I mean, the magic in this is kind of, I mean, and I guess it's just, that's Marvel magic, but the magic is basically like I'm going to make lights. So here's a shield and a whip that I've created. It's like,
right. I can do anything with it until I can't.
I can do whatever I want with it, but mostly I'm going to create melee weapons out of energy. So anyways, they eventually let him back in. He studies. We meet Wong, who guards the ancient books. And if that's Wong, I don't want to be white. I'm so sorry. After initially not doing well, Dr. Strange progresses in his magic studies quickly. After being almost frozen to death, he starts secretly reading the text from which Caecilius stole pages. Then the Ancient One shows Strange the mirror dimension, telling him that it's a dimension in which he can train. It also contains threats. It's kind of like a parallel dimension to ours, not like a multiverse dimension. It's just kind of sitting there on the other side of this dimension.
It's the practice dimension.
Yes. It's the room of what is it in Harry Potter? The room of not Discovery, a room of someone else.
Danger room.
Well, the danger room's from X-Men, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like the danger room. It's like it's the place you go where nothing's real. It's like the dojo in the Matrix. It's
where everybody knows your name.
Yeah. So Mordo tells Strange that Caecilius was a former student of the Ancient One who became disillusioned with their teachings and left, stealing pages from a secret book that contained a forbidden ritual. Meanwhile, Strange continues to study. He learns to bend time with the Eye of Agamotto, a necklace which is a magic artifact of immense power. He steals it and wears it. Mordo and Wong warn Strange against breaking the laws of nature. Strange learns that Earth is protected from threats from other dimensions by a shield generated from 3 buildings called sanctums. One's in New York, one's in London, one's in Hong Kong. And I would note that in their map, they mostly just protect the Northern Hemisphere. South America and Australia are fucked.
I was going to say, where's the Brazilian one? There should be like a Chilean not Comertage, but sanctum.
Yeah, there should be one like in South
Arctic.
Africa, one in Chile, one in like Brisbane. Like, guys, the Southern
Yeah.
Hemisphere has some people.
Well, every franchise starts small.
Yeah.
You get a couple restaurants and go from there.
Yeah, they've got a. They're still expanding.
Got their feelers in Africa.
Well, there are sanctums,
It's where
but
Texan
there are sanctums in
McNuggets-
Australia, but they're actually known as Hungry Jack. So
Hardee's.
Why isn't the ancient Celtic one the head of the London sanctum? Was my question.
well, they're not even in a sanctum. They're in where they're at isn't a sanctum. It's just her.
Oh, I
yeah.
guess Comertage isn't a sanctum.
No, it's not. It's just where she lives and dresses Asian, but is not.
So, does that mean there are multiple sorcerers supreme?
No,
There
she's the
have
sorcerer
been-
supreme. She just doesn't live in a sanctum. The other sanctum guys aren't
Ah.
sorcerer supremes. They're sorcerers with pepperoni.
It's like a really confusing pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes they Airbnb out the sanctums.
Yeah. Well, and the sanctums seem to have like one dude in them each, except when they don't.
Right.
The whole like who's in this order is real, like especially in the movies, especially in like Avengers and Spider-Man and such. Like the amount of wizards there are is real shaky, and where they live.
Yeah.
It's unclear.
It becomes a lot of whatever they happen to need for the plot of the movie they happen to be in.
There are oftentimes in the mirror dimension.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They do
all
loud
right.
rock and roll performances in there.
Wong
at
tells
themselves.
Strange about Dormammu. He's this big dude from the dark dimension who wants to envelop all other dimensions onto his own. He says, but mostly he wants Earth, which I would point out, Earth is not a dimension. It's a planet within a dimension. Why is he so focused on this one fucking planet is one of my questions.
Yeah, I wish they hadn't said Earth. I wish they had said your dimension
Our
Yeah.
dimension, but they say Earth.
or like our reality. He wants our
Earth doesn't
reality.
even have. I mean, I guess Earth has got a couple Infinity Stones. No, actually, at this point, doesn't Earth? Earth has 2 Infinity Stones at this point. The rest have been captured, and are in other places.
Mind Stone.
And
Time
the
Stone.
Mind Stone. Those are the only 2 currently, right? The Odin's got 1. The Collector's got 1. At this point, in 2016.
Strange
Yeah.
has one.
No, well, that's the Time Stone. That's the one we talked about.
What,
Yeah.
yeah. And the
I
Soul
can keep
Stone is
track.
on Vormir. Yeah. There's too many
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, there's I think there's only 2 on Earth. I don't know. Anyways, it's Earth because that's where Doctor Strange is.
Because the movie.
Because the movie, yeah, because we're on Earth. It's why.
It's like a Cthulhu kind of thing. Yeah.
So, anyways, we at this point, the London door opens. They're in the place where all the different doors go to the sanctums, and Kay Silly's over there ripping London to pieces. London's calling. There's an explosion. Strange runs through the portal into the New York sanctum. There, and he wanders around for a little while. He finds the cloak of levitation. He makes friends with it. Then he finds the sanctum's protector, confronting Caecilius, who apparently walked in off the street. He didn't go through the door. I don't know. He's at the.
So at this point, we watch the London sanctum fall. The explosion, I assume, is the destruction of the London sanctum.
Yeah.
Which has long-term effects in this universe, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways, Strange fights Caecilius and the zealots, one of whom apparently had a name. This is the most generic group of dudes, like bad guys.
Yeah, it's like Dark Elf bad.
So I would point out we finally get to this movie's plot, and we are at the like almost exact halfway point.
Mhm.
The first half of this movie especially felt like a speed run montage trailer of Doctor Strange becoming Doctor Strange.
Yeah, at one point he walks into the Ancient One's office or whatever that is, and she's like, "I hear you're stealing books still. You've gotten really good at this. I don't know how much time has passed. I've been in a coma." Like,
Yeah, no, how much time has passed in this movie up to this point? Because this is the point the plot begins. We're
Yeah.
halfway through the movie. It could be 6 months. It could be 4 years. I have no idea.
I assumed a year. That was my guess. When I was like, how long would you let
Sounds
your
as good as any.
prized pupil disappear into books for?
Well, how much from the point of the car crash till now? Like, how long has it been since his hands got broken? I have no idea.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. I assumed, okay, well, maybe 2 years then, a year of him being fragile enough to take his hands out and move him around enough.
Well, because I
Yeah.
mean, I imagine before before his hands even came out of the thing was probably 6 months, then probably like 6 months of rehab, and then maybe like another year of the surgeries and rehabs from that. Then a
He
year
had
of
to
it seems like it could be like 4 or 5 years to me.
he had to grow that wicked Grizzly Adams beard.
So
He had to glue that on with Elmer's. Is what it
He
looks
took that year off of college.
in
just to do his own
universe,
thing.
this is what, 2016, right? This is the
Yeah.
Marvel universe is still kind of aligned with real time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it's 5 years, that makes it 2011, which puts it around Iron Man 2-ish time.
But we hear that Rhodey.
Well,
Rhodey.
Oh.
but Iron Man 2 he has those videos of Hammer's people getting their backs broken
Could be that
in
maybe.
those suits. So I could see that being, this is happening way in the past in the MCU. Huh.
Could be. Could
Yeah, I
be.
never really considered that timeline. Weird.
Yeah. So anyways, him and Case Silly and Strange fight. Strange manages to capture Case Silly, who explains that he thinks becoming one with Dormammu is actually a great idea. That's going to be awesome for everybody.
Mhm.
That body trap thing when it grabbed Caecilius, the weird little chicken dance that he did,
Yeah.
it cracked me up.
What's the guy's name from Community and Rick and Morty?
Dan
Harmon?
Dan Harmon, yeah.
He did
Yeah.
he did some writing on this movie, some like dialogue touch-ups.
Yeah,
And
you can doctor.
you can
Okay.
you can really feel it from the moment that Strange walks down the stairs in the New York Sanctum to the moment that what's his face gets trapped in the little thingy. Their whole conversation, he's mumbling under the mask. Like, it's very, very Dan Harmon, like
Okay.
absurd.
Yeah.
The Mr.
I can
Doctor thing.
Yeah. All of that. That's definitely Dan Harmon. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So anyways, he tells Strange that the Ancient One uses dark magic from the dark dimension to extend her life. She's a hypocrite. She won't share her secrets, but Dormammu will give everyone eternal life. It's a cult. He's in a cult.
They don't understand, or they don't explain any of this. I don't understand the pulling from the dark dimension thing.
No.
Does she have a deal with Dormammu? Is that just like a power source that's available to you as a doctor or as a sorcerer or whatever they are, wizards?
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they were, when she was telling him about spells, or you can call them programs, she was talking about drawing energy from other dimensions across the multiverse.
I wish they had explained why
And
the dark dimension. Like, she should have justified it. She should have said, like,
It was
look,
the time thing.
This movie is so breathless. It's breathlessly running, trying to set up an entire world within the MCU, the world of magic. Like, it's a speed run of a setup so that we can actually have the plot in the back half. So there's a lot that gets forgotten. There's a lot that doesn't get explained. There's a lot that we just kind of breeze past. It felt especially the first half, it felt like a really, really long trailer to me. Like it was just boom, bang, boom. It's a montage of a montage.
I really hope that we get the Dark Dimension in the next movie in some form, because otherwise it will disappear forever. It'll be like the Dark Elves.
Yeah. Well, I thought of the Dark Elves. I was like, should the Dark Elves just have gone to the Dark Dimension? They wanted darkness. It sounds like it would have been a perfect fit.
Yeah, why didn't Odin send them there?
And they would have been like, this is great. We don't need to go back and kill Odin. Anyways, so Caecily escapes because one of his bad guys comes back and stabs Doctor Strange, who then the cloak of levitation distracts Stabby guy while Doctor Strange opens a portal to the surgeon place, the hospital.
The cloak of levitation fucks that guy up. It is like
that was a cool shot. I don't know. So much of the magic in this looked real, like so much of the way they use the magic seems like really like not using magic, but like just using things. But then things like that would happen with the cloak of levitation and like the cool like thing that locked him up.
Chicken dance.
The chick dance, like those kind of things. And those were really cool. And then they'd go back to like, I'm making a shield and a stick to hit you with.
Yeah, what was Mordo's weapon? It was the staff of the Living Tribunal.
That's basically a whip.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Living Tribunal got mentioned.
I watched some of the behind the scenes on this movie, and I just put it on watching the movie. I was like, oh, I'm kind of curious. The fight sequences between Caecilius and Doctor Strange are the funniest things ever, because it's a clear tube of plastic with some LEDs inside it. And Benedict Cumberbatch has one of those LED light tubes, like a rope. And they're just like pulling on each other and fighting with it. They look like two homeless guys at like a Christmas parade. It's the funniest shit.
Well, yeah. Well, and I don't know. And Doctor Strange's costume. So like, okay, so
he's wearing combat boots, man. His boots are for space.
Yeah. Yes. And what he's wearing is your kind of standard like Spider-Man like latex suit with all the bumps on it, but then with rags wrapped around that. When they show it up close, you can see he has the rags, and that's cool. But then underneath is like kind of your standard like MCU hero suit with like that's the texture.
Uh-huh.
That's the Under Armour that he brought with him on his journey to keep him warm in Kathmandu. He's been wearing it ever since.
So anyways, yeah.
Has he stepped back into New York yet? Oh no, we're right there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we're in New York. He's getting stabbed. He finds Christine to operate on him. This is one of those instances where you can just show up at a hospital and get operated on.
Like I said,
by the surgeon of your choice.
He skipped the insurance and sign-in part, so I think he's good. They just doctors don't care about any of that
6
stuff.
6-hour wait.
Like, oh, you're next, cool. She sees his costume and is immediately like, Steven? What?
What are you? Yeah.
What are you wearing?
I wish they had made him look a little more homemade costume-wise, because it had like on the surface it seems like that, but like I said, underneath he's wearing your classic superhero suit. So anyways, where are we at? He's at the hospital. She operates on him. Meanwhile, Stabby Joe astral projects himself into the hospital.
Stabby Joe.
And they have an astral plane fist fight.
And this is where they introduce the idea that you can just leave your body at any moment.
And have a fist fight. Does punching each other hurt? They're astral projected.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why aren't they using magic against each other in the astral plane?
Well, they could, but they just make it into a disc and hit each other with it anyway. So why not skip that and just punch?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's so not creative, but also so weird, and it breaks the rules. But visually, it looks cool, I guess.
Yeah, sure, it looks cool.
watching the behind the scenes on this shit, the action, they tether your body to do some of this stuff, and since he's floating around, Benedict Cumberbatch is tethered the whole time when they're shooting this sequence, and it is just so funny to see him kind of just drifting in the frame, talking to people and like getting ready.
That's funny.
Yeah,
especially
it's such a waste of magic.
I mean, it really is. The fact that they just make blunt force instruments out of magic to hit each other drove me nuts this entire movie.
Which we get sort of like the reverse on this in Infinity War when he does all the wild magic stuff. But I would have loved to see two wizards duel.
I honestly, I think Doctor Strange's magic is so much cooler in Infinity War than it is in his own movie.
Yeah, and I mean, we can chalk it up to him being an amateur or whatever, but like, it would have been really neat.
Everybody's magic is the same in this, though.
Yeah, like, why isn't there somebody like a bag? I created a bag of rice and a gallon of water. It's going to expand inside your body. Like,
there's anything they could have done. Anything. It just felt so uncreative to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, so he seems to like rip this dude's soul to shreds. Like, he dissipates this guy's soul. Is that what happened?
By getting electrocuted.
Yeah, that's
so
hardcore. He doesn't even get to go to an afterlife.
There's a bioelectric spiritual connection, I guess, in the MCU, where if your body gets, you can shock your soul out of your body.
I guess so. Yeah, you can destroy a soul through electricity, I guess.
So Iron Man and Thor could do this.
Yeah, it would appear. Yeah, they could. So anyways, he tells Christine about how now he's magic after she sews him up. And that's the last we hear about this giant gaping stab wound that required what looked to be between 15 to 20 stitches.
He just needed the stitches. The rest of the magic could take care of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he goes back to the sanctum. And there he finds Mordo and the Ancient One. They showed up after everything for some reason. The Ancient One appoints Strange protector of the new sanctum. He tells Mordo that the Ancient One's been drawing power from the dark dimension to sustain her long life. Mordo becomes disillusioned with her. Then Caecilius attacks again. I don't know why. The timing of when he attacks is always just like, I have to wait until the plot requires it. Let them do their important plot talk first, then I'll attack.
Yeah, that's a weird pacing issue.
Where
the hell did they go?
Attacking the same place over and over. Attack, leave, wait for them to finish. Now attack again.
And we know that Strange is in New York. Where is the Ancient One and Mordo during that whole thing? They have these magical rings that can get them to places.
Caecilius was also in New York, so it's not like they were fighting someone somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, and the only remaining goons are now one's in the desert, right?
Yeah.
That's it? There's only one of them left
at this point? I don't know. The amount of goons, where the goons are, what the goons do, like, is like they weren't even characters. They were just
well, and numerically there aren't that many of them. There
was like maybe 10, and sometimes there's 2, and sometimes there's not. None of it makes any sense to me, goon wise.
Yeah,
goon wise.
He's got a Goon of the Month club.
Rotating shifts.
A new goon to your doorstep every month. So all right.
Goon box.
This episode.
Born to Goon.
We're definitely going to start advertising Goon Box on here. It's from Blue Goon. Anyways, then the Ancient One just leaves so that she doesn't have to be in the Caecilius fight, essentially.
She's like, you don't live this long by getting in fights. I'm out of here.
She just leaves so Mordo and Strange can have their talk. Then Caecilius shows up. They fight. Then she comes back and she fights Caecilius. She gets fatally wounded in the process. Caecilius escapes. Um,
She creates, or well, they go to the mirror dimension, right? She creates a battle, like what's that Nintendo game? Super Smash Brothers. She creates a
Yeah.
floating Super Smash Brothers
she
fight ring
really does. Yes.
out of Wall Street and a
Yeah.
museum and a subway station.
Like, and all of this looks cool, like the MC Escher style buildings and everything. It all looks cool.
It's beautiful, but it makes no sense. I just think, like, wouldn't you just pull the closest building to you and it would just look like a crappy rooftop? You'd be fighting on radiators and like water tanks and
Yeah.
concrete.
Yeah, okay, it looks really cool. None of it makes any sense. And there's two magic things they do. Buildings become MC Escher, and you make magic things to hit each other with. That's
Or stab
magic.
each other with. Caecilius stabs the Ancient One through his own worshiper.
Yes. Which
Okay, I think
mean,
at this point now there are two of them remaining after this last guy gets the stab. I think.
okay.
I don't know. I should have kept better track. I was so confused by their numbers.
Because there were still at least 2 in Hong Kong.
Yeah, there are 2 at the very end.
Okay. I wasn't even paying attention to the goons
Yeah.
at this point because they were so not part of the story. They just existed so Caecilius wasn't standing there alone.
Which would have been way cooler if he was.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. And taking everybody down, like showing how badass he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, Stephen takes the Ancient One to the hospital because again, anyone can be operated on by anybody at any point that they choose. So yeah, Christine operates on her. He astral projects and they have a chat on the astral plane while she dies on the operating table. She tells him that she always knew she would die there. And she says some real Gandalf stuff to him. Like, basically, it was Gandalf's fucking, like, what you do with the time you have speech, like almost verbatim.
I'm just here to watch the snow part. That was like very Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I've seen things you people couldn't believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she tells him that the power was in him all along. To heal his own hands. Just click your heels, Stephen.
She tells him to break the rules at this point.
Yeah, and says sometimes you have to break the rules and he has to make a choice. He can go back to his old life and live only for himself or be awesome and do awesome Doctor Strange stuff.
Like Mordo is his own fault. Like he's his own man, right? But don't you think during this like beautiful soliloquy about death or being the Sorcerer Supreme or whatever the hell it was about, she would have been like, also explain this to Mordo. I think he doesn't understand my motivations. It may make him very angry.
Yeah.
I've known him longer than you. Like,
he's kind of a stickler for the rules. Maybe he should know some stuff so that he doesn't become evil in the next movie.
Also, these seem like they were friends for a moment in the beginning, but then the rest of the time she seems like, oh, it's Mordo. You're a pain in my ass, Mordo. Oh, Carl,
Mordo.
Amadeus, Mordo. Why don't you go by Amadeus?
Rock me, Amadeus.
Mordo is such a like, Mordo says, Mordo angry.
It does not sound like a good guy name at all. The whole time he was good in this movie, I remember thinking like, he's going to betray him, right? He's going to be the one who takes the time stone off his neck or something.
His name's Mordo.
It's one letter away from Morbo, the news monster on Futurama.
That's what I kept thinking of. Yes, thank you, Al.
Morbo kittens give Morbo gas.
Or Gordo.
Right. If you really like chimichangas.
He's the fat wizard.
Jimmy's.
So, all right. So she dies. And Strange decides he's going to save the world. He says goodbye to Christine. Caecily goes to Hong Kong. He attacks the sanctum there. It's being defended by a bunch of magic guys led by Wong. Mordo and Strange arrive too late They see everything destroyed. The dark dimension's developing Earth, but Strange uses the eye of Agamotto to turn back time.
So
If I
okay,
could find a way.
what is the power structure for the sorcerer movement on Earth? Is Wong the head of the Hong Kong sanctum?
I don't know, because he
Office.
wasn't there the whole time, the whole movie. He just
he
is there
seems like
now.
what's his name? Peter Parker's Aunt May in Spider-Man 2, where she's like a nurse that's at school that's in charge of the
Yeah,
the whole like emergency wing of the hospital.
right.
Like, why are you
Yeah.
in charge? Wouldn't you show up and be like, let me know what I can do?
No, but,
Yeah.
okay. So I mean, I guess for every wizard you get, then you get to rise a level, and then they start recruiting wizards. So it's a multi-level
It's a-
wizarding scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Right. He's the librarian at Comertage. Is he just moonlighting as the librarian?
Like, yeah, what is happening? Well, and I guess I hadn't realized that Stephen never becomes Sorcerer Supreme in this movie. Like at the end, he's not Sorcerer Supreme. They say they don't have one. So when does he become Sorcerer Supreme? Because I don't think they even mentioned Sorcerer Supreme until No Way Home.
They mention it in WandaVision.
Okay.
Agatha calls Strange that you've got more power than the Sorcerer Supreme.
But they never mention.
Yeah.
Do they mention in Infinity War? Because like I don't feel like he's called Sorcerer Supreme at any point. Like ever. Like on screen.
Doesn't Wong call him the Sorcerer Supreme at some point?
Oh, maybe in Infinity War he does. Maybe. I don't know.
No.
It's been a minute since I watched that, so we'll find out in a couple months.
We'll get there, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, they turn back time. Time freezes. Caecilius and his dudes confront Strange. Caecilius and his goons. This was interesting. I kept thinking of Tenet, of course, but I don't know if this actually maybe did backwards time cooler than Tenet did. It was shorter, but
some
Tenet
aspects.
was so much more,
I can say.
yeah, Tenet was so much more focused. I don't know.
Well, and Tenet did it all in the long single take backwards movement.
Yeah, Tenet. I watched a making of Tenet. Like there was only something like 200 effects shots in that movie. A lot of the backwards stuff was just a dude acting backwards with wires on him. Like it was crazy.
I had just assumed that they just made the actors act and then they rewound it.
Well, they did some of that, but then also a lot of it was them acting backwards with wires so they could like because Christopher Nolan's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, that's weird. That seems like more steps. Just be like, no. Keep practicing.
This is also a dude who like prides himself on like writing on a typewriter, not owning a cell phone. So, anyways, so Strange flies up to the opening of the dark dimension. He confronts Dormammu. He creates a time loop, trapping Dormammu there. Dormammu kills Strange over and over again until finally agreeing to take Caecilius and leave Earth forever in return for being freed from the time loop.
This, I'm going to keep defending this movie. This is I think the most creative defeat of a villain that we've gotten.
I agree.
It was clever.
I really like the I've come to bargain scene. The whole.
I'm just going to annoy you into submission.
Yeah, dude.
I like this a lot.
Well, and Strange puts it together. He's like, wait, out of time? I have a time stone. They say to him, Dormammu, or not Dormammu, Mordo, their names are the same. Mordo and Wong say to Strange, you could get stuck in a time loop. You could remove yourself from existence forever. Those are the two risks of him doing this, is if he does get stuck in the time loop forever, he doesn't exist anymore, even though humanity will be saved in that loop of time. What purpose does that serve? But it's such a cool use of that power. This is the one magical thing that I loved in this movie.
Yeah, no, this was super cool. I really liked this last scene. I thought it was very creative. I thought it was very cool. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this. The
I think
whole
this is Ragnarok level of surprising. Like, whoa, huh?
yeah,
I did not
absolutely.
expect that to be the solution to this problem.
I can see Dan Harmon's fingerprints on this part. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's clever and it's stupid and it's funny. Like he says, what does he say? I'm friends with pain or something so cheesy.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. And Dormammu literally says, "Wait, what's happening?" Which I love that.
And what
Yeah,
is
totally.
this? Being introduced to time for the first time, I guess, is kind of cool. It's a cool concept for us to think about. It's like an elevated
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So yeah, real Rick and Morty vibes actually now. Mentioned with knowing
Yeah.
Dan Harmon was on this, that makes so much more sense. He returns to Earth. Dormammu takes K-Silly and leaves. Earth is saved. Mordo doesn't like the methods they use, so he gets aggro and leaves. Strange returns the eye to Agamotto to its special unboxing room, where Wong mentions that it's an infinity stone. Strange doesn't know what that means. Strange vows to protect Earth and takes up residence in the New York sanctum. And credits roll. But in the mid-credits sequence, we get Thor! Who's trying to find Odin with Loki. Steven's going to help him because he wants Loki and Thor to get the hell away from Earth. Oh, a little taste of Ragnarok.
Well, and this was back when Ragnarok had a longer sequence in New York too. Initially, and we'll get there.
Odin was going to be in an
alley.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our mid-credit sequence. And then in an end credit sequence, Mordo visits Benjamin Bratt and decides to take away his power, which is a real dick move. And that's the movie. So
yeah, there you have it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't hate it. I know I was a little harsh on it at times, but I mean, it's good. It's an MCU movie. It's never going to be. Nothing about it's terrible. It felt real basic to me and real rushed.
Yeah, it's definitely not up there.
No,
with
it's
some
not
of the top ones.
Yeah. It's definitely
there are a few things that it did well, but not altogether.
Yeah. We kind of answered all my unanswered questions. Anybody have anything else?
No, because any question can just be generically answered as magic.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, anytime you have magic, you can chalk anything up to magic.
Yeah. So no questions for me.
All right. Well, if you guys have any last thoughts before we rank this thing?
Nope.
No.
All right.
Excited for this.
I have one.
What's that, Al?
The Bob Seger's single Kathmandu.
Yeah.
The B-side was I'm sorry, it was Nutbush City Limits.
Oh.
Huh. That's an old Ike and Tina song.
Yeah, it is.
Nutbush.
Nutbush.
Nutbush. All right. Let's rank. Let's see. Get down to our rankings here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we mention that Dormammu was voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch?
No, we didn't. I forgot that.
I think it was his idea. He went to the director, and the director liked it. That he was like a dark reflection of Doctor Strange. At least Doctor Strange would see him that way. That's like the. So maybe Dormammu doesn't appear the same to every person.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Cool.
So all right. Well, here we've got our rankings up here. I'm looking at the first other MCU movie that comes to mind when I think of this is Thor, which we have at number 19.
Yeah. But I know what you mean.
I think
Yeah.
this is more in the Ant-Man range, in my opinion.
Okay, so we have Ant-Man at 14 there. I personally liked Ant-Man better. That's my
Yeah.
personal
I
taste.
kind of did too.
Same.
I laughed a lot during Ant-Man.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. We've got Iron Man 3 at 16. That's tough. And then in between Iron Man 3 and Thor, we've got The Dark Knight Rises and Superman 1978.
Wow.
Yeah. I definitely feel like this neighborhood is a good neighborhood for it. Where exactly we put it, I'm not sure.
I mean,
Brian, I know you're a big fan of Iron Man 3. Would you put it above or below Iron Man 3?
I would put it below Iron Man 3.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would probably, if I was going to pick a spot, want to slide it in between Dark Knight Rises and Superman.
I could dig
think if
that.
I were to do it.
all right.
Al, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm trying to wrestle with above or below Thor.
I mean, I personally
Let's go above. Let's go above Thor for the eyebrows.
okay. So yeah.
Agreed.
So you're saying put it at number 19 between Thor and Superman.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I can
Sure.
live with that.
Al
I don't
came
know,
to
Brian. What do you think?
I'm here for it. I'll accept it.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.
That also
We're
has
putting
time travel, doesn't it? Superman 1?
Superman. Oh yeah. At the end,
Yeah.
it does.
Turns back.
They belong together.
All right, we are putting Doctor Strange at number 19 on our big list. And that draws a close to Doctor Strange, which means it is the time on Harmless Phosphorescence, where we look forward to next week's movie. Next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we will be watching
Please be Dr.
Split.
Mildred.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a pretty good movie.
I actually haven't seen it.
Cool.
So I'm a little excited about that. That is Split. It was the secret sequel to
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. It's very different tonally from a lot of the movies we've done, my understanding.
Dude, when Kim Schmidt comes in and kicks his ass, it's great.
Mhm.
So that's next week. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us on Harmless Phosphorescence. I'm just gonna go. This has been your host, Throw Smiley, and I'm gonna go listen to Beyonce now.
I'm Josh Cece, and I am the Burrito Supreme.
I'm Brian Lesh. At long last, I see what's wrong with the world. Too many podcasts.
Just another tiny, momentary speck within an indifferent universe. I'm Alaric Weber.
Thanks everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys.